Before GPS satellites drew invisible grids across the sky, survival in the Arctic depended on something far more fragile: paper and pencil. During the Cold War, pilots and ground surveyors ventured into white wilderness where every hill looked the same, and magnetic compasses went haywire. If they got lost, rescue was nearly impossible. Yet there was a group of men who never lost their way. They used a strange, old-world navigation trick, a hybrid between cartography, geometry, and raw observation, that could locate your position in the frozen void within minutes. This Cold War map triangulation method wasn't high-tech, but it saved countless lives when the instruments failed. Let's uncover how this forgotten mapping technique worked, how it outsmarted the magnetic chaos of the Arctic, and how its principles still apply to modern explorers and survivalists who want to navigate without electronics. As the Cold War intensified, the United States Air Force and Soviet cartographers refined this ancient method with, a bit of Cold War ingenuity. They began combining celestial navigation with map triangulation. Using a sextant and a precise watch, navigators could find their latitude from the angle of the sun or stars. Then, by cross-referencing terrain features visible from the air, they could confirm longitude using resection principles. This double-layered system allowed Arctic flights to pinpoint coordinates within a kilometre of accuracy, even during blizzards that grounded other operations. It was so reliable that United States White Alice communication crews in Alaska trained new recruits on it well into the 1970s. Soviet field geologists used similar methods across Siberia, where radio silence was mandatory and maps were classified top secret. The reason it worked so well was that it didn't depend on magnetism, radio signals, or electricity, just mathematics and keen observation. In environments that devoured technology, that simplicity kept men alive. While few of us will find ourselves stranded on the Arctic ice, the principles of resection mapping remain invaluable for anyone who ventures off-grid. Whether hiking through forested mountains, crossing deserts, or navigating after a grid-down event, you can use the same method Cold War crews relied on. All you need is a paper map and 2 visible landmarks that you can identify on it. For example, if you're hiking and can see a distinctive peak to your west and a river bend to your north, draw lines from those landmarks back toward your general direction using a protractor or compass edge. Where they intersect is roughly where you stand. Add a 3rd landmark and your accuracy increases dramatically. In areas where compasses can't be trusted, like near iron deposits or strong magnetic interference, you can substitute the sun's shadow. At local noon, the shadow points roughly north-south. Use that reference to estimate bearings, and you've recreated a simplified version of the Cold War Arctic triangulation technique. For even greater precision, modern survivalists often combine this method with distance pacing, counting steps or travel time between fixes, to track movement over featureless terrain. It's a skill worth practicing now, not when your GPS screen goes blank. GPS has made navigation easy, but let's face it, dangerously dependent. Batteries die, signals fail, and digital maps can't always tell you what's under your boots. Cold War crews didn't have that luxury. Their lives depended on situational awareness and analog methods. What's striking is that their tools still outperform GPS under the worst conditions: no power, no satellites, no reception. In the modern world, this forgotten technique represents more than historical curiosity. It's a mindset. It's about understanding the landscape instead of outsourcing that knowledge to machines. When you learn to fix your position by reading the land, you build a kind of independence that no software can provide. Even military survival manuals still include resection mapping as a core field skill. It's timeless because it doesn't rely on technology. It relies on the human ability to think, measure, and adapt. The Cold War may have been an age of nuclear brinkmanship, but it also produced some of the most elegant, practical survival skills ever developed. This Arctic map trick, resection mapping reinforced by celestial observation, wasn't glamorous, but it worked. It kept soldiers, pilots, and explorers alive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. And it's still a vital skill for anyone who believes that real navigation starts where the batteries die. If this deep dive into Cold War fieldcraft inspired you, subscribe to In the Beginning for more forgotten survival methods, ingenious technologies, and the hidden stories that shaped our modern world. Share this with a fellow history or survival enthusiast, and keep these lessons alive, because knowledge like this is one of the few things that never freezes.